Welcome, everybody. We're so glad you could join us for this interview. I am with Peter Kass, the employment coordinator for HomePlate Youth Services. So that's www.homeplateyouth.org. And Peter, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking some time. I know there's a lot going on in your life right now and the work that you're doing for HomePlate, a lot of things going on, but we just wanted to kind of touch base with you and see, one, for those who may not know about what HomePlate does, can you give us just a little brief synopsis of what your mission and vision are?
Yeah. Thank you for having me, by the way. It's great to be able to speak with you all. We really appreciate the partnership that HomePlate has with your church and just really appreciate the opportunity to be able to share what we're doing right now. So for those who don't know, HomePlate provides resources and support for young people between the ages of 12 and 24 in Washington County who are experiencing homelessness and housing instability. So that can look like a lot of different things to a lot of different people, but basically we're here to support young people in the ways they need.
Mm-hmm. And can you paint a picture for me about, the life of some of the youth or young people that you work with? What are they experiencing?
Yes, there's a wide range. It can be even as simple as people that have a house to live in, but maybe their home life situation isn't the healthiest or most supportive, and they just need like a community and kind of support and a place to be in that situation, all the way to the other end of the spectrum. We have a lot of youth that sleep in tents outside, don't have anywhere to go, don't have any support around them or any sort of resources at all, and everywhere in between. We have high schoolers, we have people that aren't going to school, maybe, for their own personal reasons. We have young folks that are in that transitionary period from childhood to adulthood that just aren't really sure what to do and don't have any. It often comes down to either they don't have a support system at all, or their support system that they have also is living in a situation where they don't have the resources to be able to support someone else. And so we fill in that gap.
Mm-hmm. Now, I know a lot of shelters are sort of limited to like 90 days. How does HomePlate operate?
So we are not a shelter service. We provide our services through street outreach and drop-in primarily. So street outreach is done in generally 4 days a week, currently 3 days a week, where we go out in teams of 2 with backpacks full of bottled water. In the winter, we'll have like socks and hand warmers. In the summer, we'll have more just kind of snacks and sunscreen. And we go to transit centers, skate parks, anywhere that young people might be congregating, or where you might find someone who doesn't really know where else to go. And we not only hand out resources, but also kind of our information for our drop-in services. Now, in normal times, we have drop-in 4 days a week, where there's a small period of time where people can come in, get shower, food. At our Beaverton site, they can do laundry. At other, all of our sites, they can just kind of have a safe, warm, quiet place to be.
Tell me about the role that Hillsboro First Congregational UCC plays in the work that you do, right, as it has been in the past.
Yeah, Hillsboro First Congregational UCC has been just the most solid of partners. It's the site of our longest running drop-in, I think, from the start, when our executive director, Bridget Calfee, started HomePlate back in 2005. But the space and the consistency of the space is just really, really critical to our services. And first, UCC's openness and like willingness to work with us through a lot of different challenges and allowing us that space is just absolutely valuable for us. It's a warm, safe place to be with people that they know they're not going to feel judged, they'll feel supported, someone to talk to. Because so many of our youth are just constantly being told, you can't be here, please move along. And to have that sanctuary and that safe place is just really crucial.
It's pretty awesome for us to see how the building is transformed on Thursday nights. And there's the smell of pizza wafting up through the building, and the groovy room's busy and the game room's busy, and you hear laughter, you hear people checking in with friends and finding what they need. It's pretty awesome to witness.
Yeah.
And now tell me, COVID-19 has impacted all of us, but how is it impacting the outreach that HomePlate has been doing? How has it changed what you're able to do, and how are you kind of adapting to continue whatever services you can?
So during COVID-19, we've had to close all of our drop-in spaces for the time being, and instead have kind of consolidated all of our resources here into our Beaverton office, where we're open from 1 to 5, Monday through Friday, through our backyard. So we're asking the youth to wait outside, and we kind of do, it's not a cafe, but it's more of like an order system, whereas normally our youth are able to grab what they want, prepare their own food, and do all of that. We're utilizing our space that we have to maintain that distance, the social distancing, while still having the resources available. And so the expanded time kind of allows for more youth to come throughout the day, rather than what we normally do, a 2-hour. They can come, they can stay the whole time. Now it's for 4 hours, and we ask them to keep it to about 20 minutes so they can have time to eat, kind of ask for other things, maybe make a video conferencing appointment for something else we're doing. So we're still staying open, but we're able to do it with just 3 staff members for 4 hours a day, rather than what we would normally do with many more people, shorter amount of time, in a much more condensed space. So that's been a big change for us, but it's been working pretty well so far. We're seeing a lot of youth coming through, seeking out support. So to be able to offer that has been really helpful.
That's great, and I'm glad you're doing it, because there are so many places like the library that's not open right now, so you can't go and just like log on and start filling out that paperwork. You need someone who can help you do that, especially if you don't have the technology or the internet to do it. So
that is a great example. Absolutely.
On a good day, it's complicated, and it's nice to have that at least a couple of those barriers out of the way through HomePlate's help. I also know you guys have your big fundraiser gala every April, right? And you weren't able to have that this year because we weren't able to gather in person. Did it go virtual? Were you able to do some fundraising? How's that turned out?
Yeah, April. It was early April. It was supposed to happen. And we had to cancel. It was called Stand Up with HomePlate, where we normally do an improv show. We include some of our youth. We talk about how they have to improv every day with like what they have, and a really fun and enjoyable event. Unfortunately, yeah, we had to cancel that. We opted not to go with a virtual event. We've been kind of researching different ideas, and just decided that it wasn't the right situation for us or the right time. We still hope to engage our supporters in other ways. We've absolutely reached out. I think, kind of shifted to stay home for HomePlate, and in more of a please still send what you can, but without the excitement and kind of community that you get from a big event like that. It absolutely hasn't been the same. And our development director is working with her team. She's got a great group of advisors and people that support us to try and come up with new and creative ways to reach out to our community members. So I think that's an area that we're still trying to kind of figure out what we're going to do for this year overall, but kind of giving everyone a chance to recognizing that everyone is going through this together, and taking some time to reflect on that and think of what our best path forward is.
Yeah, it's certainly impacted me as we've thought about safer at home, or stay home, stay safe. But a lot of our folks don't have a home to stay home in, and
Absolutely.
For many folks, their home is their car, or they're tent camping somewhere. It's a really hard moment to talk about that, and I can appreciate the challenges that you have as staff trying to support people and communicate. How do you get the word out about some of these big changes when youth have been coming to the same place every week, once a week for years, maybe? How do you get the word out? So we hope to help you get the word out however
really
we
appreciate
can.
that. Yeah, I think for the most part, for the youth that come regularly, we do have really strong relationships and are generally able to connect with them either over the phone or Facebook or email. Our foundational approach to this work is relationship building. Stay safe, stay home, and not having a home to stay in is the reason why we've been so focused on trying to remain open in any sort of capacity, because it's really everything else has been shutting down too. So if normally our youth go to, 3 or 4 different support services throughout the week, maybe now those aren't available anymore. And it's kind of isolated them even more. The fact that we've been able to stay up this whole time, we're really proud of that, and we're really doing our best to make sure that we can keep that going. We've all got our masks and really a high priority on keeping a clean and safe distance, clean space, all those things.
Yeah, we're hearing a lot about people working on the front lines, whether in the grocery store or medical staff, but you're also on the front lines doing this kind of support for people who are, houseless. This can be work that's pretty impactful on you. So how are you personally processing that? I know there's probably some passion that brought you to this work that, it's hard to close the doors for us as a church. It breaks our hearts to close the doors. I know it must be impacting you too, as you think about, how do I stay safe? How do I still do this work that I feel called to?
Absolutely. I think this is such an interesting situation because so often when we're faced with challenges, the way to help is to go towards it, right? And it's so counterintuitive right now to think that the best thing I can do for my community is to distance myself, to stay where I am and to wait. It's so challenging psychologically. It's a very precarious situation right now. If we were to get sick, we would have to close down. And so we're doing as much as we can to prevent that. As far as how we're maintaining, or I'm maintaining kind of mental health during all this time, I really want to give a lot of credit to just Bridget Calfee, our executive director, and the HomePlate culture that she's created here. I think our team is incredibly supportive of one another. We really put an emphasis on taking care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. I think the biggest thing is just like recognizing that it is a challenge for everyone and being there to support people in the different ways that they need, because it looks different for everyone.
Yeah. So, we're, like I said, we're used to having our building, there to host this very important outreach, and we're not able to do that right now. And different points we've been able to help out in different ways, but like, what would be the most helpful way for our community to support the work that HomePlate Youth Services is doing right now?
That is an excellent question. I think, just to clarify, I think we are still using the space at First UCC for our outreach on Thursdays. We are still out there on Thursdays doing street outreach in Hillsboro. So that's been just excellent. Ultimately, our purpose is to ensure that homelessness is a short-term experience rather than a long-term lifestyle. And that's the intention behind it. But during this time, it's a lot of just crisis management. So to answer your question, the best way for folks to support, we always keep our top needs list on our website, which you can find again at homeplateyouth.org. And then gift cards in $10 increments right now are super helpful. Individually packaged snacks. We're giving out a lot of snacks right now, whether they're fruit snacks or granola bars or jerky is always a huge one, is of course, financial donations are always really welcome. That's really helpful for us especially during times when our fundraisers had to be canceled and things like that.
Well, thank you for letting us know what those needs are and how to find them in an up-to-date way on the website. So I know right now things are changing, but I know some of your work for the employment coordination is, works like Home Perk and the sit and stay. Is that on hold for now, or is there hopes that you're going to return to that kind of employment-based support in the future?
Having our internal programs where we hire them directly and offer them kind of on-the-job training, those have been put on hold. So sit and stay normally would start this Saturday. The first Saturday in May is when the Beaverton Farmers Market opens their summer market. If sit and stay does come back, it will be later in the summer and in probably some sort of modified capacity. Home Perk is canceled until further notice at Bethel Congregational here in Beaverton. And same with It Takes a Village, our more art-focused program that is just on hold until further notice. However, we are still running our scholarship program, trying to get youth into different training programs that can help them to acquire better employment that just can offer more stability, higher pay, higher wages. And we're still helping youth that are looking for work. Like we're doing job search with them, doing practice interviews still with the mask on, but still it's about preparing them to be successful in the goals that they're looking to achieve. It's just certain areas, certain aspects of the program we're having to scale back right now.
Those sound like great programs, and a way for youth who are just kind of growing in their kind of occupational history and life to develop those skills and move on to that next maybe first job. So we hope that you can get that going again real soon. Is there anything you'd want to say to the Hillsboro UCC community or to the Hillsboro community, just to let folks know how you're doing and how they can be thinking of or praying or supporting you right now?
I think for Hillsboro UCC, we really just want to say thank you. The years of support that you've given us has been invaluable. We really can't say that enough. We just so appreciate the partnership that we've had for so long. I think for the city of Hillsboro, additionally, has been just an incredible partner as well. That whole community of Hillsboro is such a strong partner. I don't know if folks are aware, but the city of Hillsboro has created an internship specifically for HomePlate Youth that I've worked with them to connect our youth who've gone through some of our internal programs and are kind of ready to take some next steps in work experience. They've been just an incredible partner. I think the most support we can offer is just to not presume the worst of when you see folks out there that are in a rough situation. If we're all doing the best we can, and I think that we're creating more spaces where they can feel safe and supported by their community. I think we're just gonna see a lot of positive results from that, and I think that the space that you've provided for them is just one incredible example of that. So thank you so much for that.
Well, we're so glad to be in partnership with you and so grateful for the work that you do that is vital to our community and to the youth in our community especially. And we just want to say God bless you, and we pray for strength for the journey. And I know these are uncertain times, but you have a friend in Hillsboro UCC, and we hope that we can continue to serve the community together for a long time to come.
Thank you so much. Stay safe.
You too. Thank you so much, Peter.